It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight, reviews of Annie, Grace, and the Heiress. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Two on the Aisle.
Good evening. I'm Leslie Hoban Blake.
And I'm Charles Gross. Welcome to Two on the Aisle.
From the ridiculous to the sublime, I'm talking about a new play called Grace, which is written by Craig Wright. Craig Wright comes to theater by way of 6 Feet Under, which was a magnificent TV series, and also another play that he wrote off Broadway with one of the stars of this play called Mistakes Were Made, which just was a big off-Broadway hit last year with Michael Shannon, who is now in this play, Grace. And there are people, I have to talk about connections. The director of the play, Dexter Bullard, did Bug and Killer Joe that were by Tracy Letts, and that's that whole Chicago thing. Michael and his girlfriend, Kate Arington, who plays his, who's in the play but doesn't play his girlfriend, are both from that whole Chicago scene as well. So that's then in this play also.
So they're from Steppenwolf or just from Chicago?
From Chicago. They played Steppenwolf, but they're from Chicago. And then in the same four-hander cast is Paul Rudd, the movie star Paul Rudd, who's been in all those marvelous little, comedies that are on. And then there's Ed Asner. Ed Asner is back on Broadway. So what is Grace about?
He comes out in the first act briefly, comes out in the second act briefly. If you're going to see Ed Asner, you're going to be very disappointed.
Well,
if you're going just to see Ed Asner.
Well, that's. But anyway, Grace. The concept of the play is what is belief? Who has it? Who wants it? What is it? And Paul Rudd and Kate Arington play a married couple who come to Florida to start a set of religious hotels. They've seen a vision has come to them. Also, a backer has come to them and gotten them down there. They put all their money into this concept. They're in Florida. The play takes place in Florida. Their next-door neighbor is Michael Shannon. He is a very disfigured man. He has had a tragic life. His girlfriend was killed in a car accident that he thinks was his fault, and he believes in nothing because of this. And then there's Ed Asner, who bops around as an exterminator. Now, maybe that's significant because, who is the exterminator kind of thing. You're right, he has a monologue in the opening and he has a monologue in the closing, and then I'm not going to give away what happens, but nothing goes right for anybody. That's the bottom line here, is nothing is going to go right. And it's filled with paradoxes, I guess is the word, where people are looking for religion and find other things. And the people who don't know each other meet each other and feel something that they don't feel in their normal relationships. And Ed Asner is having the time of his life in this play, and I don't blame him. I mean, he gets these two, as you said, but it's not just that he's there in the opening. He's got this great monologue about being alive, and he's old.
I don't know how great it is. It kind of reminded me of the monologue that Kathleen Chalfant gave at the end. Yeah.
Oh, the second one.
Except. What was the...
Kathleen was in Red Dog House.
Yes, Red Dog House, except not nearly as effective.
Well, it comes in it's a different kind of thing, but there's a kind of a deus ex machina in this play at the end, which I don't think anybody's expecting what happens to happen, and we can't give it away, obviously, but it's a pretty brilliant cast, I will say that. I mean, and Paul Rudd starts out as the happy-go-lucky kind of fellow that you expect him to be, turns out to be something else. Everybody has a journey, and the journey is where they think they're going to end up or not. They're all on a journey. And we might as well take a look at it.
Let's take a look.
I've always been interested in people's beliefs.
Are you a Jesus freak?
Well, we're not Jesus freaks.
We are both committed Christians.
Oh, I got some news for you.
Oh. All right.
1, there's no Jesus.
Really?
2, there's no God.
Interesting.
3, mind your own business and everything works out.
Can I ask you a question, though, sir?
No.
Do you think the Earth just made itself?
We're going to talk about the Earth now?
Well, if you think there's no creator, then you must think the Earth made itself.
I don't know who made the Earth. I woke up one morning alive and it's here. I make the best of it.
Mrs. Hutchinson.
Yeah, hi.
I'm not going to waste your time with a lot of politeness right now.
Okay.
I want you to leave me alone. Stop knocking on my door. Stop leaving little notes on my doorstep. Stop trying to be friends.
Okay.
I don't want your charity. I don't want your pity. And I certainly don't want any more of your dry-ass cookies.
I wasn't trying to bother you.
I didn't say you were. Don't twist what I said. I'm trying to be nice. Goodbye. And if you really want to help, could you turn down the Christian music you play all the time? What are you, deaf?
You seem to be very enthralled with this play.
I'm enthralled with Craig Wright's writing. I really like what he's done, and I like the fact that he supports himself in television and yet comes back to the theater. I mean, this is I'm in the middle of writing a piece about this, so I'm very excited about seeing. And Craig is one of the people I'm writing about.
Right.
And his play Mistakes Were Made was funny and dark and crazy, and this is not quite like that. I think this is a very sincere play. I think he really thinks he's onto something here. I'm not sure.
I don't think
works.
I don't think it does work. I think the play kind of falls apart. It gets a little convoluted. It gets a little even silly.
Okay.
At one time, and again, without giving the plot away, it seems that the guy who was building the hotel apparently had the same backer that a producer of a certain musical that won't be coming to Broadway.
Oh.
Well,
that's giving more away than should even be given away. But yes, it does live in Rebecca
on
land.
that,
Yes.
and it just, I think it takes a bit of a cynical view on religion, and sometimes you need it, but maybe a little too cynical, and the believers just come out to can become a little stereotypical at times. It just, he pushes it's like, yes, he's saying something, but it's been said before.
Well, I was just going to say I haven't seen Scandalous yet, but I am going to see it tomorrow. So that's an interesting religion and whether you believe stuff or you don't believe stuff. So I don't know what Craig's actual feelings
again,
are.
what his actual beliefs are irrelevant unless he's trying to be preachy,
Exactly.
which I
don't
don't
think
know.
so.
I don't think he is, but I didn't quite get the feeling and the journey.
No, I definitely found. I definitely.
I
got that.
liked how the relationship with the wife and the neighbor evolves. I think to me that was the best.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was
that actually, and again, that's nothing new either.
No.
But
Well, I thought it was
it
nicely
happened
done.
to work. But I don't think much else in the play really did. I wasn't, overly impressed with either of Ed Asner's monologues
I thought they were fun.
on that. And I
Certainly the first one.
would give this generously 2.75.
I'd go for 3.4-ish. I agree with you that it doesn't quite make, I think, what it sets out to make. But I think I just admire any writer who goes for that kind of. It's a thought-provoking. I felt when I came outside, I was thinking to myself, what do I believe in? And there are days I don't believe in anything, And then there are other days when I think, oh, please, somebody help me. So that's kind of what was going on in the play. I felt, and
yeah, but
I reacted to that.
I think there are better ways to say it.
Okay.